Ask the Messengers, the program that deals with substance abuse, real people telling real stories. Where there is addiction, there is a chance for recovery. We're trying to help save lives on Ask the Messengers.
Today on Ask the Messengers, we continue our discussion about human trafficking with Alice J. as she shares her story about a time when she was trafficked at the age of 12 and how she got out and what she is doing today to help keep the public informed. And later, Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabree is here to share some valuable information about the various programs that will help Wayne County homeowners avoid foreclosure. Ask the Messengers begins now. Alice is a survivor of human trafficking. She is here today to kind of share her story about human trafficking and also give us some information about a bill that is being proposed as it relates to the decriminalization of prostitution. How did you become trafficked?
I became trafficked 2 weeks before my 12th birthday. I was taken by force and exploited from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Did you know the person who actually trafficked you at 12? Did you know that person?
He had introduced himself to me before, but I didn't know him, and I didn't know he was stalking me.
Did you find yourself comfortable with him because you were familiar? How did it happen?
Well, he took me by gunpoint, but me being a homeless youth, he convinced me that he saved my life, that I would die without him.
How long were you trafficked before you actually got out?
Well, I spent 17 years in the lifestyle, but I was only with my trafficker until I was about 20.
From age 12 to 20?
Yes. Once I even got away from him, I still didn't know, like I was 3,000 miles away from home. I had never had a job, never been to school, didn't have any family connections where I could just go home. I had been taught, that the police were not your friends. So I tried other things like dancing, escorting, any way to just survive.
How did you finally get out?
I jumped in the back of the police car. At that time, I was addicted to drugs. And so I started doing drugs in the back of the police car. So he took me to jail. Mm-hmm. It was Christmas. I didn't even know it was Christmas. They sentenced me to 3 years in behavior modification.
So you said that you were a homeless youth at 12. Explain to someone who may not understand what was going on at home that you, at 12 years old, just wanted to leave.
Well, my mother was, she had 12 children. And so by the time she got to us after 3 failed marriages and, living off scraps and, men abusing her all of her life, she was just tired and she could not care for me anymore. My mother moved out. My mother refused to be a parent any longer. I stayed with friends. I stayed with my older siblings. For that year, I would try, to stay, but my family was very dysfunctional, so nobody really had a stable place for me to stay.
What are some of the trickeries that are being, like at 12, what were they telling you so that, these are flags for girls out here that might hear some of these things, or some parents who may question their child? What are the cautions?
If you got a 12-year-old who's coming home with very expensive gifts, that's automatic red flag. Also, knowing who they're talking to on social media, that's a big doorway for a lot of traffickers today because they can reach them much younger. It's about befriending and romance. So a lot of times it'll be an older gentleman or older lady who is befriending them and taking them to get their hair done, nails done, stuff like that. Always recognize that if somebody tells you don't tell, that's a red flag. That person does not have your best interest at heart. That's because right. If they had your best interest at heart, they wouldn't care who you told. They can just get you in a compromising position. You have to be very careful about what you're putting on the internet, like not posting where you're going until after you went. Mm-hmm. Not putting explicit pictures of yourself on the internet or sending them to anyone, because now you give them ammunition to use against you, because they can say, I will send this to your dad. I'll send this to your mom. A lot of girls get trafficked that way.
According to the National Human Trafficking Helpline, in 2020, there were over 16,000 victims of human trafficking identified, of which many were recruited by a family member or a caregiver. Coming up, Alice shares some information about a bill related to decriminalization of prostitution. And later, Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabree is here to share some valuable program information for Wayne County homeowners to avoid foreclosures. Ask the Messengers will be right back. Tired of paying outrageous fees to get your taxes done? Well, look no further. Ox Taxes and Accounting Incorporated has unique pricing, and guess what? We'll even come to you. Call 313-270-7420 to schedule an appointment. Ox Taxes and Accounting Incorporated is located at 15506 Grand River in Detroit.
Hi, my name is Artesia Washington, and I'd like to welcome you to Irvine Newer Rehab, where we help you reach your goals of rehabilitation. So you ask, why choose Irvine? Now here at Irvine, we offer physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech and language pathology, counseling, aquatic therapy, and massage therapy. And we help build you back to your previous level of functioning. Give us a call, 248-415-2500, www.irvinenewerrehab.com.
Kirk Page Collections, the brand you trust to deliver. If we don't have your size in stock, we'll go get it. We ship same day, so you don't have to wait for your order. We ship to any city in America, and 100% of our clothing is made right here in the US, right here at home. You want a new look going into the office tomorrow? Kirk Page Collections. Out on the town and want a trendy shirt to complement your outfit? Kirk Page Collections. No matter the life event, Kirk Page Collections has your back. Life's favorite brand.
Welcome, Judge Mathis. Thanks for coming to share an important message with the Wayne County taxpayers.
Well, thank you for allowing me to help. You know, most of my life I was a resident of Wayne County, and so I'm here to help because Treasurer Sabree wants to work with Wayne County homeowners to keep families in their homes and prevent foreclosure.
If you're having trouble making your property tax payments, let us know. We have many resources to help.
Already in a payment plan? It's important you stay in good standing.
Making property tax payments is now easier than ever. We have placed payment kiosks in community centers across the county. We've also added kiosks in our offices. Contact us at 313-224-5990 or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com.
And remember, stay safe, save time, make your appointments and payments online.
Researchers and advocates say criminally penalizing prostitution can lead to dangerous health outcomes. The advocates of decriminalization argue that criminalizing sex work puts workers in constant fear of the police, making them less likely to ask for help. Workers may worry about being arrested or about facing violence or solicitation from law enforcement officers themselves. Let's talk about a bill that's related to decriminalizing prostitution. Tell me what that bill is about and what harm or good will it do if it actually passes?
Decriminalization of prostitution would mean that they will not arrest anyone. So they won't arrest the John, the trick, they won't address the pimp, they won't address the girl that's being trafficked. And they're saying that they're doing it so that they can just work in peace. But the thing of it is when you do that, then you're first you lock down the police. So now the police don't have the right to even question. And a lot of times girls are trafficked young, but they're made up to look older. So
Right.
if I'm trafficked, when I was trafficked young, I was made up to look older. And the way the ordinance is now, the police can stop that person and ask for ID, where you live. They can investigate. But if this ordinance comes into play, they won't even be able to do that. That's number one. And then across the country, we have, went to war survivors such as myself and allies to fight for resources and funding and housing and different things for these women, because there is more shelters for dogs than it is for women who've been prostituted, right? And so that would cut that as well. And so it actually cripples the system to be able to help or identify trafficking or exploited women who want to exit. So they say that it's pro sex work that's doing this, but they really don't have any real survivors giving any input on it. People who have been in it and found a way out. These are just advocates for sex work. So it's a big difference between an advocate for sex work, right, than a person who's actually been in it and found a way out. So we're saying,
what can we do as a public?
Well, what we can do right now, the bills are on the floor in different counties. So we're asking people to email their Congress, email the council members, the mayor, the city clerk, all the council members, and let them know that we are not for this in our state. Because the way it is on the board is that anybody over the age of 18, right, engaged in prostitution will not be charged. But it sets up so many road barriers to people who are being trafficked and trying to get out. Because there are some people actually in it, but they want to get out, but they don't know how.
Right, and then that bill,
that
bill will just make everything legal all the way across the board, and
absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. And so, and they want to start it in Washtenaw County, which is a college town. So we're saying absolutely not. You may not do this. And we're just asking everybody, just please support us on this, because we have been fighting so hard. We just got human trafficking on the board in 2009 to get funding, where now they have to stop saying that a child is a prostitute, because before 2009 you could be arrested for prostitution at 12.
Wow.
Yes, at 12, at 13, at 14, at 15, at 16. I know, it happened to me. Wow. So we went before the Senate, and we told them absolutely not. You have to stop that. You have to, say what it is, because a child can't consent to sex. So it's against the law. Right. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And if we pass this ordinance, it will actually make tie the police's hands to where a crime will actually be happening in front of them, and they can't even intervene.
I appreciate your dedication, and I appreciate you for being a guest on the show and just telling us a little bit about what you've gone through. And I'm just, like I said, I am grateful that you survived, got out of it well and healthy, and doing what you can to make lives for other women better. And let's just keep praying that one day sex trafficking, human trafficking, work trafficking, anything that violates anyone's human rights, let's just pray that eventually, it'll get eradicated to a halt.
Yes, at the very least, we got to create a space where they can exit and be restored.
Stay tuned for more of Ask the Messengers.
Won't you help us to do exactly what our motto is, and that is to help save lives? Won't you send a generous donation to the information there on the screen? We would love to have you as part of our partnership to help save lives. You may not be able to go out in the street, you may not be able to come here to the show, but you can send your donation that helps us save lives.
If you or someone you know is battling with any type of cancer, you need to read the book by Laverne Moore Slaughter, God Encounters Are Real. In her book, she tells how through prayer and faith, God healed her and set her free from stomach cancer. For more information and to get your copy, visit www.encountersarereal.net.
Kimberly has been raped, stabbed, beaten, and left for dead. But guess what? Through God's grace and mercy, Kimberly is still standing. There is no sound in my scream. Drugs, Truth, and Faith is a highly recommended book written by Kimberly E. Mallory.
Never will I give up, no matter what, simply because God never gave up on me.
This 70-page book is her testimony about how her struggles and triumphs with drug addiction. Get your copy of There Is No Sound in My Scream, Drugs, Truth, and Faith by Kimberly E. Mallory, available now on Amazon.
I'm Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabree, encouraging all taxpayers to please take advantage of the several payment options available. If you have to visit our office in person, you must make an appointment by going to treasurer.waynecounty.com. It only takes a few minutes. Facial covering or mask is required and social distancing is observed. You can also email our office at taxinfo@waynecounty.com or call us at 313-224-5990.
Welcome to Ask the Messengers, Treasurer Sabree. We appreciate everything that you do in getting the word out and helping the Wayne County residents stay into their homes. We welcome you today.
Thank you, Ms. Nelson. Appreciate it.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for the partnership that you all do with Ask the Messengers and allowing us to be a vehicle to help you spread your message as well. So we want to thank you from the entire staff here too.
Thank you. Thank you for getting the word out. Yeah.
Yes, we got to get the word out. Yeah. So, COVID came, COVID went, COVID is still here. So how is the treasurer's office able to conduct business in the age of COVID?
Well, what we've been doing, that's a good question. We have to have appointments for the office. We've had a reduction of our staff. About 1/3 of our employees are gone from what it was 2 years ago. We had one time 94 employees. Now we have 62 or 63 employees. So we have staff shortages, and then people are getting sick. And so we have appointment only system so that you have to make an appointment, go into our website, Wayne County Treasurer, and you can set up an appointment. It just takes a few minutes on the website. That way you can get in, take care of your business, and leave without having to wait in long lines. We can't have lines, can't have crowds, a hallway full of people. It just defeats the whole purpose of trying to keep people safe. But we have online payments. You can get into a payment agreement online, go into the website again, and you can look up how much you owe. You can go to a payment agreement. We also have hardship applications for individuals, residential owner occupants, as well as businesses, landlords, and commercial property owners. You have to go on the website and scroll down to where it says hardship application, fill that out as well. Because we want, if people had hardship based on maybe the flooding in the summer, maybe they didn't get FEMA funds, and they have hardship, maybe the medical bills are outrageous. There's a lot of things that could cause you to have a hardship. We need to know about it so that we can work with the person and keep them out of foreclosure. We have payment agreements that are available. Some individuals have defaulted on past agreements, and they're going to have to come up with some money to get back into that agreement if they want. So there's a mixture of things that we can do.
So when people default,
yes,
they may think because they defaulted that they can't get back in. So what you're saying is, even though a person has defaulted, don't just think you can't get back in because you defaulted. There's still ways to get back,
There's
right?
still a couple of ways you can get back in, because a lot of the defaults are with the interest reduction plan, the IRSPA, where people are paying 6% interest a year instead of 18, and the payment is stretched out over 5 years, and you have to pay your current taxes as well. Well, some people have paid the amount for the delinquency, but they didn't pay their current taxes. So the current taxes continue to come over to the Treasurer's office. And then that can happen twice. By law, if we can give a person a second chance if they default, but after the second default, then we're not allowed to give them another payment agreement at that. So, but they can still get into a payment agreement at the regular 18% a year, but you have to have a larger amount of money to put down to get into that plan. So we'll work with everybody on their individual situation, try to figure out how to keep them. People have to be accountable. They have to do something. They have to take the first step and work with us. But we're willing to to do what we can. We haven't had any occupied properties get foreclosed over the last 2 years. There's a lot of money out there, so this is a good time for people to apply for it, and because that's what the money's for, to try to help the taxpayers.
So touch a little bit on the pay as you stay, because we do run the commercial for the pay as you stay program, but there may be still some people who may still don't quite understand what that is all about. Can you just kind of briefly tell us what that is?
Sure. It's if a person's income is low, very low, and every assessor's office has the numbers for their community for what you are eligible for. Sometimes you get 100% exemption based on your income. Some communities like Detroit will give a 50% exemption, a 25% exemption. And I think now they're even going to a 10% exemption. So you can get, in other words, you're exempt for 10% of your taxes, or 50, 25, or 100. If you are exempt, then you could qualify, and you already have delinquent taxes for previous years, then you can get those taxes reduced. And if you're in the city of Detroit, the Dan Gilbert Foundation is paying off whatever balance you have left after the formula is, everything's calculated out as to what you owe based on the pay-as-you-stay formula, which is tied to the taxable value of your property and your balance. So what happens is people can reduce their taxable liability to zero if you live in the city and you qualify for this exemption. So there's been over 8,000 people in the city of Detroit who have had back taxes from years, and they now are exempt going forward. That means they don't have to pay property tax at all because of their income. They have their tax balance at zero. And over 8,000 people, and Dan Gilbert Foundation has paid off a lot. Some people paid it off on their own. They just say, I'll just pay it myself. You know, maybe the balance was $8,000, and after the formula was calculated, it ended up owing $800 or $1,200. So they said, I'll just pay it myself. But then a lot of people paid it before Dan Gilbert Foundation decided to do this. So we have a lot of people, over 8,000 people that have benefited from it and have zero balance now with their delinquent taxes.
So what's new? You all are always coming up with new ways and negotiating and fighting for people to stay in their homes. So what's the new program now?
New program out. It's operated by the state of Michigan, the Michigan State Housing Development Authority, or MISTA. It's called the Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund, and we abbreviated MIHAF, MIHAF. And this fund is set up to help not only taxpayers who are behind their taxes. If you have behind on your mortgage, a land contract, a condominium, if you're behind on your utilities or your broadband services or internet services, you can get assistance from this fund. Now, how do you qualify for this? You have to have to document a COVID hardship which occurred after January 15th, 2020. And that could be an increase in expenses, such as medical expenses, another child being born in the home, or it could involve a decrease in income because of COVID, lost your job, hours cut back, so forth. So you have to document that. You have to document your income. You have to be within 150% of area median income. And in Wayne County, that's about that's a little over $90,000 a year for a family of two. So a family of four is almost $120,000. So many people will qualify for this. It's a grant. It's not a loan. It's up to $25,000 grant. But the only thing about this program, they will only go back, as far as taxes, they will only go back to 2019 taxes. So if a person owes 2018 or 17, this program will not pay those taxes. It'll pay the 19, 20, and 21 taxes. But you have to have arrangement with our office so we can, for the other years, so that we can withhold that property from foreclosure. And if someone applies for this program, we're going to withhold them from foreclosure. If they apply and they're not immediately denied, then they're in consideration for the funds for the 19, 20, and 21 years. then we're going to withhold that property out of foreclosure. But they're going to have to do something to make arrangements to pay the previous years. Some people owe back to 15, 16, 17, and so forth. So that program, we're looking forward to launching that. The state said February 1st is our launch date. I want to give out a number that you can call to Wayne Metro. That number is 313-388-9799. It's 313-388-9799. That's Wayne Metro Community Action Agency, and they're going to be able to give you information on the Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund. And I encourage everyone to apply for it if you have delinquent taxes and you have any hardship that you can document because of COVID. March 31st is our deadline for foreclosure this year, as it always is. We have many people going to court challenging the foreclosures. They have a right to go to court, challenge any kind of foreclosure action that the Treasurer wants to take. But if you're not going to court and you're not sure that this is a mistake, then you should get into a payment plan and make sure you protect your property. I want to give out our number to our office and our email addresses, if that's okay.
Please do.
Office number, our call center is 313-224-5990. It's 313-224-5990. And our email address is taxinfo@waynecounty.com. taxinfo@waynecounty.com. We respond to all emails. If our call center is busy, you don't get a call, send us email and we'll get right back to you.
Thank you so much, Treasurer Sabree. We appreciate you for just doing everything that you can to keep Wayne County residents in their homes. So it's just up to the people to do their part because you guys are rolling it out. They just got to do their part now.
And it's critical. We want everyone to keep their property, and there's enough money out there to help most taxpayers. Not everyone, but most. And we want people to apply for it and take advantage of it. So thank you very much.
Thank you
So
too.
we love what work you're doing. Ask the Messenger. Keep up the great work.
Well, that concludes this week's episode of the Ask the Messengers TV show. If you or someone you know is experiencing anything that seems to be too hard to handle, please know there is a way out and don't hesitate or be afraid to seek help. Until next time, may you seek a power greater than yourself so that you too can turn your mess into a message that will help save lives. Continue to stay safe and most importantly, be kind and love one another.
Won't you help us to do exactly what our motto is, and that is to help save lives? Won't you send a generous donation to the information there on the screen? We would love to have you as part of our partnership to help save lives. You may not be able to go out in the street, you may not be able to come here to the show, but you can send your donation that helps us save lives.